How big Lovely Sweets is?
The biggest is about 25,000 square feet, largest in the country.
What is the revenue scale?
150 crores this year. जहाँ पर parking ना हो सके, हमारी store वहीं पर आना चाहिए.
How you get customers? How do I figure out manufacturing?
You have to be a little bit jugado.
The interesting stories that you can tell us.
So this young boy, the sale numbers that he's doing, approximately 40 lakhs in October.
Oh wow!
Right, and he's only 17 years old.
What have you done differently than what your dad used to maybe do? What the family has done?
The call which I took was कि मेरे को वो कैश काउंटर पे नहीं बैठना.
Welcome to Launch Codes by Masters Union, where we decode businesses and understand how to build our own. If you've ever wondered while passing through a Mithai ki dukaan as to how to start your own, this is the one to watch. To join us and break it down, we have with us Shaishav Mittal, who is the founder and director of Lovely Sweets and Lovely Bake Studio, which is one of India's legacy brands when it comes to sweets. We are going to understand today how to start a Mithai ki dukaan by breaking down how much capital we need, how much store size do we need, what kind of people we need in that store, and how do we generate the right walk-ins by ensuring that marketing and branding are on absolute point. Without further ado, join me in welcoming Shaishav Mittal on this episode. Thank you so much, Shaishav, for joining us today.
Thank you, 𝗪𝘗𝘁. Thank you for your time.
Super. I'm so excited to understand because we go on roads. If you've ever been in Punjab, you've come across Lovely Sweets, right? You've come across the besan ke laddu, you've come across the motichur ke laddu, you've come across the almond cakes, and you always wonder that these tasty things that get made, कि अगर मैं भी वो बना पाता, that would be amazing. What if I could run my own store? And आज मुझे यही समझना है. आज मुझे ये समझना है कि that if I wanted to start a Lovely Sweets की तरह दुकान, how can I do it? So thank you so much for joining us, and I'm very excited for this conversation. Before we get started as to how to make one, I'd love to understand from you कि आपका scale क्या है? क्योंकि हमने बड़े होते हुए भी देखा है कि पंजाब में Lovely Sweets है. We've all known कि घर पे कोई ना कोई बना रहा है, कोई ना कोई रख रहा है, weddings में है. तो आप, if you can tell us how big Lovely Sweets is to begin with, कितने stores हो, कितने शहरों में हो, what is the revenue scale? I think that would be lovely. And then we'll go deeper into how to launch our own Mithai ki dukaan.
So currently we are at 15 stores right now.
Okay.
We spread across 6 cities across Punjab. And the total walk-ins that we see in our stores is approximately 7,000 per day. And over the weekends, it's about 10,000. Put together all the stores is about 150 crores this year. Projected to be 150 crores this year.
150 crores.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And our vision is to reach 200 stores by 2030 and create approximately 100 odd entrepreneurs through our franchisee model.
That is lovely. That is amazing. I mean, I'll keep using the pun lovely क्योंकि Lovely Sweets ही start करना है हमें. How large are these stores? What is the size? What is the largest store like? और per store क्या sale होती है?
So the typical store size is between 1,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet, and depending on the size of the store, the sale varies. So a 1,000 square feet store will have a revenue of about 3 crores yearly, to a 5,000 square feet store will have a revenue of about 30 crores in a year.
Got it.
So it's very variable.
And your largest store is how large you were saying?
It's 5,000 square feet.
5,000 square feet.
5,000 is the franchisee store, but the company-owned store, that is the biggest, is about 25,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And I think it's still the largest in the country.
Yeah, I'm sure it must be. Wow, that is incredible scale in terms of the number that we have to imagine. So 15 stores, 6 cities, 7,000 walk-ins per day, 150 crores of total revenue, and 3 to 30 crores of overall range of revenue. Awesome. Now let's get into the meat, right? तो अगर मुझे आज दुकान स्टार्ट करनी है खुद की, if I want to start a store today, what do I need? How much capital do I need? What is the size of the store?
Sure.
How much inventory should I keep? Can you walk us through the entire dynamics? कि ये करना कैसे?
Sure. So it's very, very interesting, and I do this on daily basis. So I think a typical size of a Mithai store, Mithai store, will be in the range of 800 to 1200 square feet.
Okay.
Yeah. And the typical investment in interiors and equipment is in the range of about 6,500 square feet per square feet to 7,000 rupees per square feet.
Okay.
So a 1,000 square feet store will have an investment range of about 70 to 75 lakhs.
Got it. 70 to 75 lakhs.
So that will cover the cost of interiors, equipment, all the display counters, shelves, racks, machines. If you have a small little area for people to sit and eat a little bit, like a samosa or a chai.
Got it.
I don't know, as an evening snack. So that will cover the entire store.
Got it. And this is one-time cost.
This is the one-time cost.
Got it. Simultaneously, there will be some working capital cost as well, right?
Sure.
To keep the inventory, to hire the people. How many people will I need in a 1,000 square feet shop? And how much will I have to pay them? How will I get the halwai? If you can walk us through that side of the business, that'll be very interesting as well.
So I think a small size store, about 1,000 square feet, would need about 8 to 10 people.
Okay.
Right. Which will have, say, two people on the cash till.
Okay.
Right. 4 to 5 people on behind the counters, and one housekeeping, one security.
Got it. So that is 8 to 10 people.
Yeah.
How will I manage inventory? How much saman do I need? Where will I manufacture it?
So the opening stock for a retail store is between 5 to 7 lakhs. It's not a lot, because Mithai is a short shelf life product, right? So you want to have a high inventory turnover. Right. So the stock should sell maximum in 48 hours.
Okay.
Right.
So 5 to 10 lakhs inventory.
Yeah.
And you're saying 48 hours sell through.
Sell through.
Got it. Awesome. How much sale can I expect within the first year of starting my shop? Because if I've put in 75 lakhs, an additional amount of 10 lakhs, how much did you say the 8 to 10 people will cost?
8 to 10 people will cost approximately, I feel, between 2.5 to 3 lakhs per month.
Got it. So this is going to be another 2.5 lakhs, let's say. So this is about approximately 85 to 90 lakhs of rupees, right? That I am putting. The fixed cost is 75, and then the variable is going to be around 7.5, 10 lakh rupees, right? What should I expect my return on investment to be? एक साल में कितनी sales मैं सोच सकता हूँ आएंगी? कितने लोगों को मैं attract कर सकता हूँ?
So I think the range will be between 3 crores to 4.5 crores in a year.
Okay.
Right. And a typical gross margin will be about 30%.
Got it.
Operating cost will be about 10 to 12 to 15%. And net profit will be about 10%. 10, maybe 12.
10 to 12%
is the
net
profit. And about 30% is the gross margin.
What should I expect my payback period to be?
I think it should be about 2 years.
2 years.
Here and there.
So if I start a shop today, I need approximately 85 lakh rupees. I need to, and I can expect that to be made back in 2 years. And uske baad 10 se 12% I am making profit every month.
Right.
Awesome. That is very, very, very helpful. Super. This is great. I think we're off to a lovely start. Now that we've understood ki start kaise karna hai, let's maybe go into, once we've started, what else do we need? So capital hai, land hai, समझ गए कि कितना बड़ा स्टोर होना चाहिए, कितने लोग होने चाहिए. Now we need to understand which items to keep, right? And this is where people will get excited, I'm sure. Because Mithai is a very experience-led product. So can you talk us through, if I enter a lovely sweet shop, what do I get to see? Which are the items in the first? Which items sell the most? I would love to hear that. Help us with the elaborate items of, where should I keep what things? That'll be very helpful.
So, a 1,000 square feet store will have approximately 5 to 6 display counters.
Okay.
Right? And in each counter, you'll have about 20 odd SKUs.
Okay.
Mithai. Right? So, let's assume we dedicate about 3 stores for the display of Mithai.
Okay.
Right. So you will have the range of about 50 to 60 SKUs of mithai that you have to display.
Okay.
Right. Then one counter can be dedicated to the bakery products, like a cake or a pastry, muffins, brownies. And then one counter will be for the snacking. So all your samosas, kachori, 𝗪𝗲𝗿,
yes,
right? That will help you build the walk-in into a store, because people are always hungry.
Yes.
Right? And they want to have something on the go. So this is like an impulse purchase for people to walk into the store and just buy.
Got it.
Right. So we'll keep one counter for that.
Okay.
And there'll be a little bit small area for maybe a standing area for people to just enjoy that samosa with chai.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. So 5 to 6 display counters, 3 for mithai, 1 for bakery items, 1 for snacks,
right,
and 1 space for eating, chilling, having a beverage, something of the kind.
Yeah.
What are your highest selling SKUs?
Obviously, the laddus are to die for, right? Yeah. And then these days, people like besan ki mithai a lot. So chana laddu, chana barfi, and a lot of Bengali mithai. You know, people are very, very... Punjab maybe, and I think it's across India. You know, Bengali mithai is
famous hai
very, very popular. And then obviously the kaju ka mithai, khoe ka mithai are really, really popular.
Nice.
These days, fusion sweets is picking up a lot.
Okay.
You know, people want to try new products. So yesterday in our factory we did trials with blueberry. You know, so we made interesting kaju ka mithai with infused with compote of blueberry in it. So it came out really, really nice. We made some baklavas with blueberry inside. So something innovation that people are looking for, especially the Gen Z crowd.
Yeah, no, that's very important. I think you have to keep up with the trends.
Yeah.
And if you're starting a modern day mithai ki dukaan, you have to have Turkish delight, fusion delight, people that, you know, the new age people, Gen Z will get appealed by.
True.
There's also this narrative in the market that maybe sweet consumption is going low, right?
Yeah.
Is that at all true?
Honestly, it's not. I think people want to have something meetha after their meals, maybe a dinner or a lunch. I think a little bit of consumption every day is fine. Sometimes you can't stop yourself, right? Maybe you want to have 3 or 4 pieces, or maybe half a kg. You know? But I think a little bit of meetha here and there is fine. And I think the sale is definitely picking up. It's definitely growing.
Got it.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
I think one more category we should always keep in a mithai store is the wedding section. Right? Because a lot of people are getting married and they want to invite their friends over, family. So wedding invitation is a very important component in a mithai store, because suddenly from a regular sale of whatever 1.5 lakhs, 2 lakhs per day, you get one big order of wedding, and suddenly your sale is equal to a one-day sale.
Correct.
Right. So there should be a separate dedicated section for a wedding range.
How is your revenue split across these, let's call it B2B orders, right?
Yeah.
Because these are bulk orders.
Yeah.
How is your split of revenue between B2C, जो directly customer को बेचते हो आप, versus जो customers 100 boxes, 200 boxes, weddings के लिए ले जाते हैं या दिवाली के लिए ले जाते हैं? What is that split like?
I think it's 80-20.
80-20. So this is 20%.
This is 20% for
very,
sure.
Very interesting. So we must keep in mind that this is a very important part as well.
It is,
this is not something that we can forget for sure. No, that's awesome. So now we've understood आपका scale क्या था. We've understood how to get started, how much money do we need. We've understood how to design the store.
Yep.
Are there any insights to कि हाई स्ट्रीट में होना चाहिए, कैसे हम डिसाइड करें कि कहाँ स्टोर लॉन्च करना है, क्योंकि आप भी 6 cities में हो, that's very diverse.
Sure.
Each city has its own taste, I'm sure. So how do you decide where in a particular city to launch?
Sure. So I think Mithai store has become a very neighborhood kind of a experience for everyone. So somebody wants to have a craving for Mithai, they can just go to a nearby Mithai store and pick up sweets.
Correct.
So I often tell my team that जहाँ पर parking ना हो सके, हमारी store वहीं पर आना चाहिए.
वाह वाह. What is the insight there?
Because it should be in a crowded place.
Crowd and
even if you don't get the parking, you should have a store there.
Very interesting. So very good insight. Parking नहीं होनी चाहिए वहाँ पे और बहुत crowded होना चाहिए. इसमें आप कितना Is there science involved in this कि आप इसको broadly estimate करके सोच लेते हो कि हाँ ये this is a high footfall area यहाँ कर लेते हैं?
I think in the last 1 year we've added 5 stores, and the 2 stores which are doing really well are within the city limits, close to a bus stand or close to that model town area, right? With the crowded space.
hubs है.
जो hubs हैं वहाँ पर.
Got it.
It does really well.
So city hubs and crowded spaces is where the stores should be.
Right. The other thing is, especially in Punjab, these outlet malls have come up, right? These are the malls which you see in like foreign countries like New Jersey, New York.
Correct.
That there are 50, 60 brands of apparel, clothing,
Correct.
Shoes, and then you put up a store there also, of a Mithai store with a restaurant. Because when people go out for shopping, they get a little hungry after a little bit. So they want to have something, right? And when they are done eating, they like to pick up something meetha on their way back home.
Right. So where there is existing footfall, if you capture that market also, you can create a good business.
Right.
Awesome. So now we know where to launch also. But now that I've launched, right? तो मैंने सोच लिया कि यहाँ पे रखना है मुझे अपनी यहाँ पे खोलनी है दुकान. I know इतना capital है, ये सारी चीज़ें हैं. How do I figure out manufacturing? क्योंकि I will have to get the मिठाई someplace, right?
Sure.
And हलवाई का taste different होता है, ingredients different होते हैं, घी कोई और तरीके का होता है. So can you walk us through the manufacturing side of the business?
Sure.
क्योंकि as customers we only eat the end product. But you as a business have to make sure the manufacturing side is very taken care of. What is that like?
It's actually very tough, but at the same time it's very interesting.
Okay.
First of all, I think finding a halwai or a karigar, it's a tough job, right? Because they don't come on LinkedIn, right?
Correct.
Right. So it's usually through a reference you find somebody, right? And then there are hundreds of iterations that you do in a single product. My dad often tells me that if I have to make a new product, it's usually the time span is between 3 months to 6 months for a new product to be developed, right? Because there are hundreds of iterations that you do in single laddu, for example.
Can you tell us a story or two of one product which took like 6 months to launch क्योंकि उसका taste perfect करना था? ऐसी कोई story दिमाग में आ रही है?
I think so. We were trying to make a mithai with a little longer shelf life.
Okay.
Right. It has to be baked, but it should be mithai at the same time, right? So there's one product that now we call it this Nutty Delight.
Okay.
It is made with chunks of little bit of biscuit crunch, right? And then on the top we have almonds, and the center we have caramel. So it took us a lot of time just to get that softness, that crispiness in that product.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
Got it. So this takes a lot of time. So how do you eventually find them? What is the theory of, getting the right halwai?
I'll go to some other sweet store, right?
Got it.
Talk to the salesman in that store and try to entice him and get the phone number of the halwai. I know it's not the right thing, but that's how you find one.
Correct.
Right? And you have to be a little bit jagadu to do this.
Got it.
Right? And then call them over. They'll come with a list of ingredients, right? The list of mithai they can make, and do the trials.
Got it.
So get 3-4 people before you finalize on one.
Got it.
Yeah.
So जुगाड़ करो, figure out 3-4 कौन से अच्छे हलवाई हैं आपके एरिया में, उनसे टेस्टिंग करवाओ कौन से मिठाइयाँ आपको चाहिए, and then figure out जो सबसे अच्छा बनाता है उसको आप रख लो. एंड फिर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेटअप कैसा लगेगा? आपका मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेटअप सेंट्रल है कि डिफरेंट है? हर दुकान में कैसे होता है?
I think when you're starting out, so what you can typically do is on the ground floor you have the store, the retail store, and on the first floor you can set up a factory. Depending upon you following all the norms of the government.
Got it.
Because since in some cities the factories on the first floor are not allowed. One mistake which I think a lot of new food manufacturers, startups do is they want to do everything themselves, right? So it's always better to have one good food consultant on board who can help you design the factory. They understand how to optimally utilize the space.
Got it.
Right.
So in this sort of 8 to 10 people, maybe one food consultant as well, रख लो, so that you can optimize for the manufacturing side as well, क्योंकि सारी चीजें आप नहीं कर सकते.
जी, right.
Got it.
And one trick I would suggest is that there are a lot of cloud kitchens that have come up recently, right?
Correct.
And they have expertise in making that certain product. And you should reach out to that person, ki you make that one product for me and I will buy it for you.
Got it.
Like we were discussing that if I want to make, say, chana bhatura, right? I can make a bhatura in my showroom, but chana I can easily procure. Because that certain guy sitting somewhere has expertise in that, right?
So know what you can make, know what you can buy. That's my learning from that. And figure out how to procure that thing depending on kiski kahan expertise hai. So if it's a halwai, that's great. If it's a cloud kitchen, that's great. Awesome. So we've now understood capital, we've understood kahan hona chahiye, kaisa hona chahiye store design, and we've understood manufacturing. Now let's get to ye sari cheezein ban gayi. I want to now attract customers because that's the main thing, right? So this gets us to branding and marketing of the store.
Right.
Can you tell us how you get customers? And let's assume for this time that we don't have the brand name that Lovely Sweets already does. Because that's a legacy brand, everybody knows. But if I'm starting off today, how do I attract customers?
True. I think the day of opening is very, very important.
Okay.
Right. You should try to get a local MLA or a MP to do an opening of your store, or a SSP, right? Somebody who has a good influence within that community, right? He should come as a chief guest to open the store for you.
To cut the ribbon, thoda shore karo uske bare mein, right? Ki log aaye. Theek hai, perfect.
Right. And the next day you get the press release done. Right.
ये newspaper में होगी.
In the newspaper.
ठीक है.
So that is the basic thing you have to do.
Correct. और इसका cost क्या होगा broadly?
So I think newspaper press release should not be a lot.
Should not be a lot. कि इससे कम?
नहीं. Press release is एक तो ad होता है.
हाँ.
एक होता है press release. So ad नहीं हम कर रहे हैं, हम press release
कर रहे हो.
Right. The second thing is we have to get our Instagram page up.
Got it.
Right.
ठीक है.
It's very, very important. And because I try to optimize without spending too much, I want to get the word out for my new stores which I've opened up.
Correct.
Right. And I think Instagram, Facebook is the cheapest way to do it, right? So identify 2-3 good influencers within the local area who can come to your store and do a quick video about the store layout, tour of the store, and post it in local pages, community pages, local social groups. Third thing, which I've done a lot, is I go to local gymkhana clubs or social clubs. I pick up their directory. Right, and I have a telecaller who call each and every person and tell them this is the new store we have opened in this locality.
Lovely. तो इससे और भी लोग आ जाएंगे and calling box.
Yeah, and third is definitely if you can buy a database of phone numbers from a local supplier and just mass message on WhatsApp.
WhatsApp marketing कितना चलती है इस ecosystem में? लोग WhatsApp पे respond करते हैं. How do you figure out WhatsApp marketing for this?
I think it's very organized now. Definitely Meta has done a good job in terms of they charge you like 80 paise to 1 rupee per message. But it's actually the message actually goes out to the relevant person, right? And I feel as long as you're messaging once a month or once in 40 days, it's fine. People may not block you.
Got it.
But if you bother them too much, you will eventually get, hammered.
Got it.
Yeah.
So WhatsApp is another important channel.
Yeah.
Perfect. What is the marketing cost broadly? क्योंकि हमने काफ़ी investment already retail front, logo में कर दी है, inventory में कर दी है. How much should I bracket for marketing?
I think initially for the first 6 months, anywhere from 1 lakh rupees to 2 lakh rupees.
Got it. So 1 to 2 lakh rupees a month. And that is getting me significant sales. क्योंकि ऐसे आप बोल रहे हो 3 to 4 crores is the sales that I should expect within a year of launch. Initially I'm guessing कम ही होगा. How much footfall? Should 7,000 per day अगर अभी के scale पे है, so I should expect 2-3,000 footfall?
No.
Maybe
little less. I think a little less. I think initially when you are starting a 1,000 square feet store, even if you get say 150-200 walk-ins a day, I think that's a good number. That's a good number. And I think one strategy which has really worked for us, when we do a new store, is that 2 months after launching the store, we give a very aggressive offer of so buy one get one free. So on all the SKUs in the store, have a buy one get one free for 1 day. And we've seen in the past our sales have grown 10x, 15x of the regular sales. So it's a great way to get the word out about your store and let the people walk into your store.
So because this is a retail store, walk-ins are very important.
Very important.
And walk-ins की वजह से conversion through this one buy one get one is very important. Because once I've tasted your mithai, I'll come back.
Yeah.
That's the logic,
True.
right?
True.
Got it. Awesome.
True.
So I think opening day, Instagram, press release, WhatsApp marketing, offers karo so that you'll be able to understand how to get walk-ins. Once you've gotten walk-ins, you rely on your taste to sell. Lovely. Awesome. This is very, very helpful. Now, considering ये बहुत scale है, इतने सारे लोग हैं, training करनी पड़ती होगी. What are the operations, processes? I know you were mentioning that you're very process intensive because to run a 150 crore revenue book is no easy job.
Sure.
What would you recommend somebody starting out to do in terms of process from day zero?
True. I think one basic thing that you have to do is you have to invest in a decent software.
Okay.
Right. So I'm saying not only billing, but you should always be able to do purchase, finance, accounting, inventory management. So have a good comprehensive software from day one.
Okay.
Right.
Perfect.
Because that is your foundation for not only opening one store, but multiple stores eventually when you eventually grow.
Correct.
Right. So software is one. The other thing is I use a lot of Google Sheets in my to manage the processes. So for every process that I have in the company, I figure out who, what, how, when. Right?
Who, what, how, when. Okay.
So for example, if I have to pay a vendor, right, who in my company is going to process that payment? Or what is the invoice amount? Right? How will it get it done? And will I pay in 1 week or 10 days? So everything is documented. Right?
Perfect.
And this is the culture which I have developed in the last few years from and with Google Sheets, I'm able to track the time delay. So if a certain job has to be done in 7 days, if it's not done in 7 days, done in 10 days, I'm able to track it practically.
Got it.
Right? And so I think we have amazing technologies available. So using these 2-3 basic technologies get you far ahead.
Got it. No, this is very interesting. So what I'm hearing is you need to have software from day zero for your purchase, for your inventory, for your billing, for your invoices, everything. You need to have processes of who's doing what, who, what, how, when as a framework so that you know it is documented, everybody is expected to do this. How do you train the staff to ensure that they follow this process? Right.
So definitely you have to have manuals in place, right? And I still work on it every day. Every time I get a feedback about something happening in the company, I make a manual and add that to it. It's never perfect. It's never perfect. Always work in progress.
Right.
And then second is the in a retail environment, retail store, you need to have your checklist in place. Right. The checklist will define कौन सा काम कब करना है और किसने करना है. Right? For example, if a cashier comes into a store, right, he has to clean up his area, right, set up the cash counter. So that's part of his checklist.
Got it.
Right? Similarly, the checklist should be defined for all, like store manager, housekeeping, kitchen staff, everyone, right? So that is one. The other thing is every morning for half an hour when you open the store, have a debriefing meeting with all your key team members. And I think the regular input of training and whatever is working, whatever is not working is required in the morning.
Got it. So regular trading, checklist to ensure that everybody is following their manuals very well and ensuring that expectation is clear. That's my takeaway. Awesome. This is very helpful. In fact, I think one of the myths that might be to run a mithai ki dukaan might be कि शायद process ही नहीं चाहिए क्योंकि you are selling the mithai. But it's great that you mentioned this क्योंकि people should be aware that these are nuances that are involved. Perfect. So I think we've covered how to launch, कैसे स्टार्ट करना है, क्या मार्केटिंग करनी है, कैसे प्रोसेस बनाना है. Now let's come to the mistakes, the challenges, the risk, right? Because no business is easy. So if you had to give us an explainer that as a beginner, right, who's starting a mithai ki dukaan, what are the challenges that I need to keep in mind? What are the mistakes that I can already avoid?
Right.
What are those?
I think the first thing is when you're getting a new store done, have an interior designer on board, right? And that person has to be from the industry.
Correct.
A lot of people, what they make a mistake कि जिसने उनका घर डिज़ाइन करा है उसी से भी शोरूम डिज़ाइन करा रहे हैं, right?
Correct.
So वो काफ़ी challenges आते हैं उसमें और there are chances to make massive blunders, right? So because a professional would know कि limited सी जगह में कैसे optimally store को डिज़ाइन करना है.
Correct.
So
एक इंटीरियर डिजाइनर रख लो
from day one.
ठीक है.
दूसरा, you need to have a kitchen consultant. Right?
ये फूड कंसल्टेंट से डिफरेंट होगा?
फूड कंसल्टेंट भी हो सकता है,
Okay.
but there's one hack which I use all the time.
Tell us.
Is that I have a kitchen designing partner, right, who is also my supplier. तो उसको इंटरेस्ट होता है कि मेरे से किचन लोगे आप, right? So I don't have to pay the kitchen consulting fee.
Got it.
Right? And based on the menu, he always tries to accommodate his kitchen in that limited area. राइट. सो अगर मैं उसको 400-500 स्क्वायर फीट की एरिया भी देता हूँ उसमें वो किचन सेटअप कर देता है अच्छे से.
Got it.
राइट. एंड इट हैज़ रियली वर्कड फॉर मी.
Got it. So one kitchen consultant, one interior designer are things to not forget about क्योंकि वो easily भूल जाते हैं, right? What are other some risks या mistakes, ऐसे कुछ something that comes to your mind?
I think we've already spoken about it, having a good software, right?
Yes.
A lot of people have a basic POS, right? तो वहाँ पे वो चैलेंज आता है कि अगर आपका सॉफ्टवेयर अच्छा ना हो. Apart from the cash payment, the digital payment has become very, very important, right? So a POS should have UPI payment integration as well as your credit card, debit cards, and especially MX. A lot of machines don't have MX in it.
Right. So keep a lookout for all kinds of payment options, software, cash, UPI होना चाहिए. So these are things to look out for क्योंकि ये तो basics है, इसको नहीं मिस कर सकते आप.
बिल्कुल.
In terms of compliances, right? क्योंकि आप land पे establish कर रहे हो, food बेच रहे हो, so I'm guessing some licenses etc. are required.
Sure.
वो क्या होते हैं?
I think two basic is definitely get a FSSI license, FSSAI license. That is basic to sell any kind of food. Whether you are a retail store or a restaurant.
ये चाहिए आपको, ठीक है?
Plus second is the GST number. To operate the business, to open a bank account.
These are basics. इसके बिना तो नहीं हो सकता.
Yeah. Apart from that, you need those fire licenses, property tax licenses, all that.
Got it. Perfect. तो ये सारी चीज़ें अवॉइड मत करो क्योंकि मिस्टेक्स हैं ये. इंटीरियर डिज़ाइनर, किचन कंसल्टेंट, सॉफ्टवेयर और कैश हमें इंश्योर करना है कि वी कैन हैव एमएक्स, यूपीआई, कैश काउंटर, सॉफ्टवेयर इंश्योर करना है, एंड लाइसेंसेस, जीएसटी, फायर, प्रॉपर्टी लाइसेंस, सारी चीज़ें करनी है. Perfect. I think that summarizes the risk challenges.
Right.
One of the things that is also a risk is now that you're a legacy brand, right?
Yeah.
20-30 सालों से चल रहा है.
Yeah.
हमारे my nanas had lovely sweets. I also, in fact, I asked you yesterday कि यार मेरे लिए एक लड्डू ले आना क्योंकि मुझे बहुत खाने का मन था. How do you stay relevant as a legacy business?
Right.
That is very interesting to understand.
Sure.
And आपने 10-15 साल अब बिता दिए business में, right? What have you done differently than what your dad used to maybe do, what the family has done? Would love to know that.
Right. So when I joined the business, this was 2009. We had a very simple store.
Two stores थे तब.
Two stores थे. One in Jalandhar Kent, another in Jalandhar City, and they were basic stores. Very basic counters, very basic display, and I remember at that point of time, I used to sit on the cash till, cut bills and hand over the cash to the customers. So I've done that few years, right? So I think the first thing the call which I took was कि मेरे को वो cash counter पे नहीं बैठना. I told them very clearly कि वो मैं नहीं कर सकता, right? And they acknowledged it. Then like, okay, so कैसे करना है? मैं जी POS billing करो. And this is 2009-10, you know.
wow.
They were very limited.
Correct. तब तो common भी नहीं था.
हाँ, इतना common नहीं था. Very limited. But we still did it, right?
Back in 2010.
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. And उसके बाद the first project which I did was we opened I started doing the construction of a new store, right? And the concept was very clear that we have to make a state-of-the-art store where people can have an amazing shopping experience, right? Yes, they're coming for buying sweets, but at the same time, they should feel that they are going to a very good place for shopping, right? Yeah. They can bring their family, spend their time, you know, enjoy food there, do the shopping. So this showroom which we started, it's spread over 25,000 square feet area, and we invested heavily in the interiors, in the display counters, right? At the same time, जो बहुत basic चीज़ होती हैं that staff should have proper uniform, complete hygiene of the showroom, right? Apart from that, जो counter पे हम display करते हैं मिठाई का trays, cake pastries का trays, it should be properly done, proper rate tags with manufacturing date, expiry date.
Got it.
वो सारा हमने transform करा gradually in the next first few years.
Got it. So सारी modern चीज़ें आपने आके की and you ensured that experience एकदम top notch होना चाहिए क्योंकि उसपे तो sacrifice नहीं करना है.
Right.
Perfect. That is very helpful.
And I think that is a basic guidelines for now any retail store.
Correct.
Right. And I think we were able to do it at that point of time and set a benchmark for ourselves and also for others.
Correct. And that's how the brand has grown.
Yeah.
It's difficult to stay relevant all these years, right?
Yeah.
So I can imagine. In terms of legacy, what were the stories that you grew up with? Like, आपने क्या सुना था Lovely Sweets के बारे में before joining the business, and what was it like when you joined? मतलब,
right.
What was the difference?
So it's very interesting. You know, when I was a child, and me and my brother used to go back to the factory, and वो हम बैठ जाते थे कारीगर के साथ and खुद लड्डू बनाते थे, you know, and we used to make a lot of weird shapes of laddus, you know, as a child, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, right?
I'm sure.
And now when I joined the business, a lot of customers come and talk to me and like, कि my grandfather bought the sweets during his wedding, you know, back in 1970s. My father got all his laddus and mithais, wedding ka mithai from Lovely Sweets in 1990s, and now I'm getting married in 2024, and I'm getting sweets from you.
Yeah.
You know? And I feel really proud.
I'm sure.
You know, just to see that they are so attached to the brand and they're so happy with the quality of products and services that we give.
I'm sure it must be so gratifying. And more than that, the fact that you've kept the legacy alive till date, which is such a challenging thing, is extremely commendable. So phenomenal to hear that. But this is very helpful. I think last part यही है कि आज के ज़माने में competition feels very high, right?
Sure.
Like you go to every state, there's something or the other. बहुत सारी local shops हैं, बहुत सारी branded shops हैं, बहुत सारे Lovely Sweets जैसे players हैं. If I have to start as a fresher, knowing all of this, right? How do I still make the trade-off between starting my own brand versus partnering with a brand like Lovely Sweets? Because if I'm not wrong, you have a franchise model as well. Can you explain to us what that franchise model is and how can I make a decision कि franchise start करूँ कि अपना खुद का store start करूँ?
Right.
What is that like?
Right. So definitely when you're starting a new brand, you need to have that patience in place, right? Because it's going to take some time.
Yes.
You know, to perfect the recipe, to get that brand out, generate more walk-ins, right?
Absolutely.
And you need a lot of, I think, patience and also some hand-holding from your family, friends, you know, because sometimes business can be tough, you know, and especially this mithai business is kind of like a little seasonal business because you have good sales for 6-7 months, maximum 8 months in a year, and during the summer months you are generally free, right? Because people are traveling, the sales are a little low, weddings are not happening, right? So those 3-4 months are quite brutal for any, I think, new business.
Correct.
But in the last, you know, we've been running Lovely Sweets for more than 60 odd years now.
Correct.
So we've seen all ups and downs.
Yes.
COVID has been very tough for us also. We've survived it somehow. right?
Kudos.
And came back stronger. So I think it's easy to partner with a successful brand, right, as a franchisee, because then you get the complete know-how, not only of the product, but also the operations, how to run day-to-day store. And in the last 1 year, I've added 5 franchisee stores across Punjab. And we assume कि उनको कुछ नहीं आता, right? तो उनको हाथ पकड़ के हम एक-एक चीज़ सिखाते हैं कि कैसे काम होगा. So some of the mistakes that we've done in the last decades, we try that they don't make those same mistakes, right? And as I was talking to you earlier, so we have put together complete manuals, SOPs, system processes, how to run a Mithai store.
Correct. And you pass that all to them and the brand, right?
Yeah, of
franchise
course.
खरीदने से
Of course.
you get the brand, and so ये जो marketing करने की problem होती होगी, I think that gets solved.
Yeah.
What are the economics of running a franchise, Shaishav? कि अगर मैं आपकी franchise देना चाहता हूँ, तो मुझे कितने पैसे देने होंगे आपको? What will be the revenue split? Can you walk us through that? I'll make a note as well.
Sure. I think it is very similar to what you've written at the back.
Earlier.
This is very similar numbers, right? A typical store of 1,000 square feet will have an investment of about 70-75 lakhs, right?
That will be licensing fee.
That is the interior. That is the interior fee, right?
Okay.
So when you say licensing fee, it means the franchisee fees.
Yes,
right?
franchise fees.
Franchise fees, yeah.
Hanji.
So there's a one-time franchise fee.
How much is that?
It's between 15 lakhs to 30 lakhs.
Okay.
Right.
This is depending on store size?
Depending on the store size.
Okay, perfect. So 15 to 30 lakhs depending on square foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you get the top sellers product range.
Got it.
From our large kitty of products, right? You get the complete know-how of how things are done.
Absolutely.
Right. And at the same time, our job is to deliver the stock to your showroom.
Yeah. I have to take the supply from you.
Yeah.
If I've taken your
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah,
So supply, always you.
Yeah.
How much revenue, royalty will I have to split with you?
So when it's only retail, there is no royalty.
Okay, so I one time buy the franchise license and I keep all profits to myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When it's not a retail store only?
So when it's a retail plus restaurant, right? Because in restaurant, you make the food there. But the recipes are given by us.
Right.
So we get the 6% royalty on the food that you manufacture.
Got it.
When I say retail, it includes all mithai, cake, pastries, gift hampers, wedding boxes. We don't keep any royalty on that.
Got it. So if I'm just starting a mithai store, then I will not have to give you any royalty.
Yeah.
I will give you a one-time fee. I will start with 70-75 lakhs. I'll do all of this and I'll get all the profit to myself. But if I'm also doing a cafe, then I will have to give 6% royalty.
On sales.
ठीक है. Perfect, G. And this is one-time cost.
This is one time.
Okay. After this, got it. This is very helpful. If I have to decide between doing a franchise versus doing my own store, what do you recommend I do?
I think that's a good question. But again, I'll come back to the patience part.
Okay.
Right? If you have the patience to start a brand from scratch, right? You can wait for a few years, right? I think you can start your own. Why not? Why not?
So if you can do this, then do that.
And little bit deep pockets too.
Got it. क्योंकि capital इस पे ज़्यादा चाहिए.
Capital ज़्यादा लगेगा.
Marketing पे ज़्यादा spend करना होगा. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Got it.
So building that new brand for anything in any industry will take time.
Will take time.
So if you have that patience, you should do it. Why not?
Got it. Yeah. Perfect. No, in terms of the franchise that you already have, which ones are doing well? Which are the interesting stories that you can tell us?
Sure. So it's one very interesting story, which is very dear to me.
Please tell us.
So this young boy who was 17 years of age.
17 years?
Yeah. He's running our franchisee store in 𝗪𝘂𝘁.
Oh, wow.
Right. And I was just talking to him, and it's been, I think he started the store in March this year, right? It's been 8-9 months. And we just finished the Diwali 2 weeks back. And the sale numbers that he's doing from a 700 square feet store is just outstanding.
Wow. How much is it?
I think he did, approximately 40 lakhs in October.
Oh, wow.
Right. And he's only 17 years old.
That is crazy.
And he tells me that I rather be at the store and I don't want to leave the store even for a minute. He loves it so much.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah.
No, that's super interesting because that goes to show, right? Ki you can be any age, but as long as you know the business.
And he had no background, and he's just I think 12th pass.
Wow.
12th pass, not fail.
12th pass, of course.
Yeah, and he's kicking it. You know, he's doing it.
Yeah, no, that is real India.
Yeah.
Business अगर कर दो तो पैसे भी बनते हैं.
True.
आपको हसल भी लगती है.
True.
मन भी लगता है.
True.
So that is exactly what we want to understand as well. So if you're 17 years old, if you're 20 years old, if you're 30 years old, doesn't matter. As long as you're willing to do all of this, you can make money.
Yeah, and I was looking at the numbers. We started the store in March, and till 1st of November, I think we have billed him about 1.30 crore of stock.
Oh, wow.
In the last 8 months.
That is so amazing.
Right. And I think he's just learning so much about business.
Yeah.
How to deal with customers, how to manage finance, and how to do inventory management. I know it's one of the difficult things to do in retail.
I can imagine.
And he's still learning it. You know, he often calls me. He's like, कि मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा मैं कितना order करूँ. मैं इतना order कर दे कोई बात नहीं. It will sell.
Lovely. This is very helpful.
Yeah.
I think we've covered a lot of ground, and I think we've understood how to run and build my own. If I had to start today, I think मैं कल start कर पाऊँगा अब my own मिठाई की दुकान.
जी.
But before we end, एक बार ना quick summary कर लेते हैं. So if you've watched till here, we'll now give you a quick summary of how to conclude your own store. Right? In fact, Shaishav, I'll invite you here.
Yeah.
और एक साथ whiteboarding करते हैं.
जी.
आप ये लो.
Thank you.
We'll go through each pointer very quickly, right?
Yeah.
And we will try to summarize कि हमने अभी तक क्या क्या डिस्कस किया है.
जी.
तो अभी 150 crore स्केल, लेगेसी, 15 स्टोर एंड अक्रॉस 6 cities हैं, राइट?
जी.
दिस इज कितने साल लग गए इस बिजनेस को बनाने में? 2 स्टोर से आप 15 स्टोर लेके गए हो लास्ट 15 में, एंड हम लेकर जाना चाहते हैं 100 स्टोर्स बाय 2030.
Exactly.
अमेजिंग. ग्रोथ रेट क्या होगा लास्ट 5 साल में हर साल? How much have you grown?
I think in the last 1 year we've added 5 stores.
Oh wow.
Right, but in the last
that is 50% of the overall.
Yeah, and in the last I think 15 years total 13 stores we've added.
Oh wow.
So it's gradual growth.
Yeah. एक बार brand बन जाता है, I think you can grow automatically.
And that's the patience I'm talking about. But it takes time to figure out the system, processes, what is the pulse of the customer.
Yeah. No, from what I remember, I think D-Mart शायद अपने पहले 10-12 साल में 10-15 स्टोरी था, फिर 200 बना अराउंड 5-6 साल में they added because foundation इतनी strong थी. So I'm sure that's the case with Lovely Sweets as well.
जी.
Second point में हमने डिस्कस किया कि how large the store should be, कितनी इन्वेस्टमेंट चाहिए, कितने लोग चाहिए, ये सारी एडिशंस भी चाहिए. दिस इज द वेरिएबल कॉस्ट. मार्जिन प्रोफाइल क्या होनी चाहिए? कैन यू राइट एंड एक्सप्लेन टू अस?
So gross margin can be around 30%.
Got it.
Right. Operating expenses in the range of about 10% to 15%.
Got it.
Right. So net profit, if all goes well, can be in the range of 10% to 15%.
Got it. Perfect. This is a margin profile we will keep in mind. And वही 3-4 करोड़ की सेल हो सकती है अगर आपने ठीक किया 1-2 सालों बाद. एंड आपका पे बैक आपने बोला था 2 साल टाइम
2 साल का,
राइट?
जी.
So 2 years of payback.
Yeah.
Amazing. फिर हमने डिस्कस किया था कि स्टोर का डिजाइन कैसा होना चाहिए. इसमें कैन यू हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड कि जब एक कस्टमर वॉक इन करता है तो उसे मिठाई में क्या अच्छा लगता है? इज इट द स्मेल, इज इट द टेस्ट? आपने ये तो हमें समझाया कि यू नो वी हैव टू इंश्योर कि वो टेस्ट जरूर करे. सो आई एम गेसिंग टेस्ट इज एवरीथिंग, बट कैन यू टेल अस स्टोरीज ऑफ यू नो लड्डू में कितना घी डलता है, कैसे हलवाई मतलब कैसे बनाता है? क्योंकि आई एम गेसिंग कि कस्टमर को ये डिलाइट करना इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट फैक्टर. तो इसमें आप क्या हमें और बता सकते हो?
सो आई थिंक सबसे पहले जो मैंने देखा है, सबसे पहले तो कैश काउंटर होना चाहिए the moment you enter, because that is the last point when the customer leaves, and it's easy for him to
get the cash.
Get the cash and leave the store, right?
Correct. Okay.
And first 2 counters should be your high GP products.
Okay. High GP products.
High GP products.
ठीक है.
Right.
कौन से हैं ये?
of course, laddus, kaju barfi, खोए की बर्फी, right? So same those.
मुझे अभी भूख लग रही है,
right? I'm carrying some of them for you.
Perfect.
And so keep those high-GP products because that's your focus should be, because in the end it's the profitability of the store that matters.
और ऐसा भी कुछ साइंस है कि मतलब ये चीज ऊपर रखो वर्सेस ये चीज नीचे रखो, ये चीज पहले आप मतलब काउंटर वाले को, सेल्स वाले को पता होता है क्या कि ये ट्राई करवाओ पहले वर्सेस दूसरी चीज पहले?
हाँ, आई थिंक जो तो रूटीन में बिकता है, you know, जैसे लड्डूज हो गए या चना बर्फी, वो तो रूटीन में बिकते हैं, बट देयर आर सर्टेन प्रोडक्ट्स दैट यू वांट द कस्टमर्स टू ट्राई, राइट, व्हिच आर न्यू प्रोडक्ट्स, ठीक है, और व्हिच आर नॉट सेलिंग बट हाई जीपी फॉर यू, एंड यू वांट पीपल टू ट्राई दोस प्रोडक्ट्स. गॉट इट. सो उसकी सैम्पलिंग होनी चाहिए, स्पेशली ऑन वीकेंड्स, यू नो, क्योंकि
वीकेंड्स में ज़्यादा लोग आते हैं.
ठीक है जी, ठीक है. एंड जो स्नैकिंग रेंज है दैट शुड बी एट द बैक, सो दैट जो कस्टमर है वो पूरे एंड तक देखता हुआ जाए एंड एंड में जाके वो ऑर्डर करे स्नैक्स जैसे समोसा या कचौरी या रसमलाई.
और स्नैक्स थोड़े लो एओवी वाले प्रोडक्ट्स होंगे ना?
वो इट इज टू जनरेट वॉक-इन्स, बट यू वांट पीपल टू सी योर एंटायर रेंज, सो यू कीप देम एट द बैक.
सो टेम्प्ट हो जाएंगे मिठाई से, शायद स्नैक खरीदेंगे, बट स्नैक खत्म होते होते शायद वो मिठाई भी खरीद ले. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम टेकिंग बैक. परफेक्ट. इसमें आपने ना बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग वेडिंग वाला पॉइंट बोला था जी, बट ना वेडिंग ऑर्डर्स जनरेट करना टफ होता होगा, क्योंकि ऐसे किसी को कन्विंस करना कि आप मेरे से 150 डब्बे ले लो माइट बी वेरी डिफिकल्ट, राइट? तो कैसे, कैन यू टेल अस मोर अबाउट दिस स्पेस?
या, सो बेसिकली generally first half of the day, you know, till 12 or 1 p.m. you have little low walk-ins.
Okay.
So what I generally do is I send my store manager. You go and visit the local wedding palaces and local wedding consultants or wedding planner.
Oh wow.
तो उनके पास generally booking होती है, जो शादियाँ 3 महीने बाद 4 महीने बाद हो रही हैं. So we give them some incentive, monetary incentive, and get that contact number of the customer.
अच्छा.
So we are right now in November. So somebody is getting married in February. I'll get that data.
Correct. Data ले लो.
And then my team calls them.
अच्छा.
And we try to invite them to to our showroom to come and visit.
उनको ट्राई करवाओ और फिर बेच दो. Very interesting. So wedding consultants, locations, उनके through get the data और उनको फिर sell करो.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then in wedding you need to have at least 5 very unique concepts which are not available within like 30-40 kilometer radius.
अच्छा. कौन से होते हैं ऐसे कुछ यूनिक ऑप्शन?
यू नो, आजकल बहुत कॉन्सेप्ट चल रहा है, यू नो, हार्डबोर्ड बॉक्सेस विद ट्रेडिशनल राजस्थानी क्रिएटिव डिज़ाइन बहुत चल रहा है, यू नो, क्योंकि पीपल एस्पायर दैट दे गेट मैरिड इन उदयपुर, जयपुर, सो वो वाला जो डिज़ाइन एलिमेंट है दे वांट ऑन देयर बॉक्सेस, व्हिच आई हैव सीन वेरी पॉपुलर, getting popular these days.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I think this goes back to your point on trends also, ना? कि आपको follow तो मतलब you have to know what the trends are to stay relevant.
Sure.
And accordingly, तो wedding में भी वो trend follow करना है. I'm guessing starting में जब walk-ins ज़्यादा नहीं होते, wedding also becomes a large part of your revenue. Is that true? कि बल्क ऑर्डर्स से आपको ज़्यादा पैसे आ रहे हैं क्योंकि उससे कैश फ्लो चलता रहता है और उसके थ्रू आप,
तो इट्स जनरली 80-20, राइट?
गॉट इट.
80% is your regular sales,
ठीक है,
and then you try to get 4, 5, 6 orders in a month of wedding.
करेक्ट. सो 20%, 80-20 हमारा रूल रहेगा. परफेक्ट. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, रिटेल सब हमने बात कर ली. मार्केटिंग में आर देयर एनी मोर इनसाइट्स टू, ऐसे सिनेरियो समझते हैं कि हमने ना बहुत अच्छा ओपनिंग डे कर लिया, पीआर भी कर ली, बट 1 महीने हो गए और मेरे पास वॉक-इन्स नहीं आ रहे हैं, मतलब 40-50 लोग ही आ रहे हैं. अब मैं क्या करूं?
सो आई थिंक 2-3 चीज़ें आप कर सकते हो. डेफिनेटली एक कॉम्बो ऑफर बनाओ. You buy this and then the second product at a 20% off.
Got it.
Right? So that combo offer is very, very important initially. The other thing I think we've spoken about it is do a local influencer marketing. Third, have events. Right?
Got it.
So cookery events. So yesterday, like at 𝗪𝘂𝘁 we hosted a celebrity chef from Bombay.
Oh, lovely.
She came and taught how to use blueberries and made granola Mithai with it. So engage the local ladies, communities, and bring them for cookery sessions.
Very interesting. So I think main चीज़ यही है कि आपको walk-ins generate करने हैं. उसके लिए या तो आप इवेंट्स लाओ, या तो लोकल इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को बुलाओ, या तो प्रेस रिलीज करो, या तो व्हाट्सएप पे करो, या तो इंस्टाग्राम से करो. आप अगर वॉक-इन्स ले आते हो अपनी मिठाई की दुकान पे, यू विल बी एबल टू सेल. दैट्स माय टेक अवे. ऑसम. फिर हमने ना बात की थी प्रोसेस के बारे में, चेकलिस्ट कैसे बनानी है, सिस्टम्स कैसे बनाने हैं। इसमें कुछ याद आ रहा है कि मतलब मिस्टेक कहाँ होती है, क्योंकि लगता है ना कि प्रोसेस से ना आई थिंक शायद कभी कभी कॉम्प्लिकेट भी हो जाती है चीज़।
राइट।
तो आपको क्या लगता है, व्हाट इज़ द बैलेंस इन प्रोसेस वर्सेस अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड थिंग्स?
आई थिंक अनस्ट्रक्चर्ड होना ही नहीं चाहिए।
ठीक है,
ठीक है,
प्रोसेस होना चाहिए,
प्रोसेस क्लियरली होना चाहिए।
ठीक है,
बिकॉज हमारी जो मेंटेलिटी है, हम ना थोड़ा सा डंडे से ही चलते हैं।
करेक्ट।
ठीक है, तो अनलेस एंड अनटिल डॉक्यूमेंटेड होगा तो हम पकड़ नहीं पाएंगे।
करेक्ट।
ठीक है,
कब क्या हुआ, क्यों हुआ, और ये सारी चीजें हवा में रह जाएंगी। सो प्रोसेस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। वी नीड द चेकलिस्ट, वी नीड दिस फ्रेमवर्क। आई लव इट, हु व्हाट हाउ व्हेन, एंड वी नीड टू इंश्योर कि सारे सॉफ्टवेयर एक्सेट्रा सारे सॉर्टेड है
जी।
परफेक्ट। और हमने बात की सारे मिस्टेक्स, ये सारी चीज़ों के बारे में। ऐसी कोई आपकी स्टोरी है जहाँ आपने कुछ ऐसा एक्सपेरिमेंट किया जो नहीं चला, ऐसा कुछ दिमाग में आ रहा है? क्योंकि उससे शायद वील ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड कि ये चीज़ नहीं करनी। वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस दैट, बट एनी अदर स्टोरी दैट कम्स टू माइंड?
I think it's a lot of them because every day I get to learn so much. I think one of the main challenges in our industry is retaining staff. Trained, skilled staff is very, very limited and competition is growing. So people are trying to get
पोच कर लेते हैं,
पोच करने की कोशिश करते हैं।
Correct.
Right? You need to keep your staff really happy. इसलिए वो system ही important है। ठीक है ना, क्योंकि confusion नहीं होगी।
Correct.
So they also want to work in a well-organized, process-driven company.
Correct.
Right. Apart from that, I think take them out for a lunch or maybe yearly break for a retreat.
Nice.
Right. So I think those basic things which other people don't do in your industry will help you retain that staff.
Correct. Unique चीज़ें करो so that retention is always in place, because this is going to be a major challenge. Awesome. This is a very important point. Thank you so much for sharing, Shaishav. हमने ये बात की थी कि मतलब हाउ डू वी स्टे रेलेवेंट, राइट? आई थिंक उसमें तो आपने बहुत ट्रेंड्स, फ्यूजन, स्टेट ऑफ द आर्ट, ये सारी चीज़ें की। आर देयर एनी अदर थिंग्स की मतलब डू यू थिंक ये जो हेल्दी ट्रेंड आ रहा है आइसक्रीम में, ये कितना ऑन ग्राउंड रियलिटी वाइज ट्रू है? क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो मे बी डायबिटिक है, जो हेल्दी चीज़ें चाहते हैं। ये सच में हो रहा है कि अभी भी लोग अपनी मिठाई मीठी ही चाहते हैं?
So there's a small percentage of people who want to have sugar-free मिठाई और gluten-free product.
आपके पास हैं वो प्रोडक्ट्स?
हमारे पास वो सारे products हैं।
Very good.
हाँ, and it sells.
Okay.
It's not a very large sale. But है।
क्योंकि वो भी कस्टमर आ रहा है तो उसको भी सर्व करना है आपको।
हाँ।
करेक्ट, तो ऑप्शन तो होना चाहिए।
जी।
ऑसम। एंड फिर हमने बात की थी फ्रेंचाइज के बारे में। इसमें भी आई थिंक वी अंडरस्टूड कि फ्रेंचाइज से फ़ायदे यही होते हैं कि देयर इज़ गुड मार्केटिंग, आपको ब्रांड मिल जाता है, सप्लाई सॉर्टेड होती है, तो आपका ओवरहेड कम हो जाता है, राइट? एनीथिंग एल्स, मतलब फ्रॉम एनी अदर फ्रेंचाइज एक्सपीरियंस अभी जो आपने किया है, कि आप कैसे डिसाइड करते हो किसको फ्रेंचाइज देनी है? So let's say I'm a 20-year-old versus I'm a 40-year-old. आप कैसे डिसाइड करते हो?
That's a good question. So first thing is in a franchisee store we look for कि उसके पास अपनी जगह हो।
ठीक है।
Retail space हो।
ठीक है।
If he is coming with the rental proposal, we generally avoid.
Got it. तो अपनी जगह होनी चाहिए।
अपनी जगह होनी चाहिए. That is number one.
Perfect.
Secondly, the person should have the bandwidth that he focus on that business 24/7.
ठीक है, परफेक्ट। पार्ट टाइम नहीं चल सकता।
पार्ट टाइम नहीं चलेगा।
ठीक है
कि मैं सुबह ये कर लूँ, शाम को ये कर लूँ,
क्योंकि उससे आपका ब्रांड सैक्रिफाइस हो जाएगा।
जी
ठीक है। और ये लाइसेंस आप कभी भी टर्मिनेट कर सकते हो अगर अच्छा नहीं कर रहा मेरा स्टोर?
हाँ, वी गिव देम प्रॉपर नोटिस।
गॉट इट।
है ना, कि दीज आर द करेक्टिव एक्शन यू शुड टेक। अगर मतलब शोरूम में सफाई नहीं है, मतलब ये तो बेसिक है,
क्योंकि आपका नाम है, ये आपकी लेगेसी है, इट शुड बी कंट्रोल्ड बाय यू। ऑसम।
और एक तो हो गया लैंड का, दूसरा हो गया दैट पर्सन शुड बी इन्वॉल्व्ड 24/7।
डन।
राइट।
स्पेस, लैंड और 24/7।
एंड ही शुड बी पैशनेट एंड विलिंग टू लर्न।
तो आप बहुत सारे इंटरव्यूज करते होगे फ्रेंचाइज के लिए ना?
मल्टीपल राउंड्स।
हाँ। और क्या रिजेक्शन रेट बहुत होता है क्या इसमें?
इट्स 90% प्लस।
ओह माय गॉड।
या वाओ। वी आर वेरी सिलेक्टिव who want to work with. Very selective.
Got it. Super interesting. I think this is very helpful. So अपनी जगह लाओ और इंश्योर करो कि आप पैशनेट हो, पूरा काम करोगे, मन से करोगे, 24/7 आपका यही रहेगा काम, एंड अकॉर्डिंगली आपको फ्रेंचाइज मिलेगी।
और एक्चुअली इट्स अ वेरी यूनिक अपॉर्चुनिटी। मतलब यू कैन काउंट ऑन योर फिंगर्स कि हमारी इस फूड इंडस्ट्री में कि फ्रेंचाइजी में कौन कर रहा है काम।
Correct.
You would not find many brands across India.
Correct.
Right?
तो ये तो बहुत ही हाँ
It's a very, very rare opportunity because not many people are able to crack it. How to do it correctly.
No, to be a part of legacy, to get their brand, to get supply from you is such a huge privilege. इसको अच्छे से ही करना पड़ेगा, so you have to be diligent.
Yeah.
Awesome. I think we've covered how to build a Mithai ki dukaan from scratch. This is very helpful. Anything else you want to mention?
I think we've covered most of it. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Lovely. No, thank you so much for telling us all your trade secrets. आपने पूरा समझा दिया है. And if I wanted to start one, as I was saying, I think I can start one tomorrow. If I have the capital, if I have the willingness, if I have the space, if I know the trends, if I know how to market. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Pleasure.
And yeah, I hope all of you watching by now have realized how to build your own Mithai ki dukaan. We hope for many, many more because we should celebrate with sweets. And thank you so much, Shaishav, for telling us all
I really had a great
secrets.
time talking to you. Thank you for having me over.
Such a pleasure. Awesome. Lovely. This is what we observed in the last couple of minutes to understand how to build our own Mithai store. The launch code to do one is to ensure that you have a certain amount of capital, approximately 80 to 85 lakh rupees. To ensure that you have the right inventory, manufacturing, and the supplier. And once you have the inventory, store size, money, you then ensure that you have the right walk-ins. Once you can ensure walk-ins in a Mithai ki dukaan, your taste will drive all the revenue, and in 2 years, you'll be able to make your money back and generate 10 to 12% of net profit at the end of the business. Now, you also have the option of either starting your own or taking a franchise of a famous brand like Lovely Sweets. So if you watch this entire episode, you've realized how to launch your own Mithai store. Keep tuning in for more such episodes where we break down how to launch your own business that you see on a day-to-day level but don't know how to start. Join us for the next episode of Launch Codes very, very soon.